God, we are back. We are recording after Crystal's very bad, poorly days. So let's catch up medically wise, shall we? Because we seem to have a lot of things we can...
Yeah, for some reason, we seem to open our podcast with, oh, we're sick people. Things were going fine. Catherine was doing better. She's gained a few pounds from her Christmas holiday disaster. And last week, I got some sort of gastrointestinal virus that I can say 100% that I am not a puker.
Yeah.
I do not puke. I don't have the capability of puking. Back in my younger years where I would drink, if I got too drunk and knew that I would throw up, I also knew that my body wasn't going to throw up. And the only thing I could do was stick my finger down my throat.
Snap!
Yeah, so I did.
Yeah,
that's
same here.
how I did that. So maybe once a decade, I'll get some sort of sickness that makes me throw up. Okay, so last week I got something that made me actually throw up. And I had taken an antacid, and that it was like putting a Mentos into Coke. So I was prepared. I had my bucket, and I just sat up from bed and sat over the side of the bed and unloaded into my bucket until like the final round was just hands and knees over the bucket. Yeah. And that woke up Catherine, and in her panic and her love of paper goods, napkins and tissues, she scrambled to the kitchen and got the biggest roll of paper towels and just stood over me and would rip one or two off and just throw it over my head. And it was like, the floor. I'm like, I'm puking in a bucket, stop it. So she just kind of did a little, paper dance to the gods over the top of me. But I didn't get anything on the floor. We won't talk about what happened on the back end because that wasn't any good either. So I've ordered new sheets to replace those.
I know how about last year, and it literally is a year actually. I went to visit my parents in the UK. I went to see my grandma and spent a really lovely afternoon. That evening, my parents were really ill. Yeah. And then I'd been out that evening drinking, so I'd been a bit ill anyway. But I thought that was just alcohol. And the next day, I've never felt anything like it. It was bad. I still can't eat lasagna because that's what I'd eaten, and that's what came back up. Oof. And I just felt nauseous for about 2 weeks afterwards. And
this has hung on.
Horrendous.
I get really weird waves. It's not really in my stomach. It's more of in my head. Yeah. The absolute aching and fever. That I slept all the way through the next day. And then I think it was about 2 days, and I woke up the next morning, I looked at Catherine and went, oh shit. So then she started throwing up and stayed in bed, and I stayed home to make sure she was fine. So, and now here we are. Ta-da!
We are here. We've made it. We're back. So far, we've paused it twice because my dog wants to just bark at everything.
Right.
But that's okay. That's what editing's for.
Yes.
Or that's what we play is guess whose dog that is barking in the background.
Right.
It will be mine.
And sometimes it's mine.
That's true sometimes, but I've got two, so the odds are it's going to be one of mine.
Well, and Hash isn't really allowed to bark on a regular basis. It annoys me. So we raised him to be like, you don't get to bark, sorry.
My dogs don't listen to me whatsoever, so they do what the hell they like.
Well, now that he's older, he's over 12, and he doesn't really listen much. Like this morning we went out and he saw a cat and just lost his mind. Yeah. And it's not like he doesn't like cats, he has his own cat. And she loves him way more than he loves her. So, she's always trying to cuddle with him, and he's like, no. Yeah. But she starts by sitting on his face, and I can see where that would be an issue.
Well, depends what situation.
Right?
So you're feeling better, yes?
I am feeling better. Excellent. And it's gorgeous outside today.
It is. Oh my God. There is nothing that makes me happier than
there's my dog whining.
Yeah, we've got a dog whining. Reggie, my other dog, has just decided he's going to come in the room and have a sniff around. He's currently got really black paws because he's decided he wants to dig. So that's happening. But anyway, the weather is beautiful in the west of France at the moment. Real proper springtime. Just makes me feel so much happier about life when the sun is out. I'll get onto my medical side of things because that's still going on bullshit. The doctor sent me for an x-ray because my pain was getting worse in my chest again. So I went for an x-ray on Monday. I haven't got any tumours or anything, so that's fine, but it just shows that the liquid's back again.
Yeah.
So next week I get to go for a scan with contrast. Then I go and see the lung doctor, where I'm presuming they're going to drain the fluid out again.
Ow.
And I'll just hope that at some point they figure out what the hell is going on.
Right.
So that's that really.
But yeah, Catherine went last week and had a colonoscopy and an endoscopy, so top and bottom. She did ask them to use different...
I love that she did that.
different scopes. And if they use the same one, please do the top end first. They were like, we're not using the same one. We don't know why you're asking us that. But no real problems there, other than she does have an ulcer. There were a couple of polyps that they removed, but so far no cancer.
So there we go.
No one has cancer here.
No one has cancer. That's great. So there's our roundup of our medical issues. We know that you'd like to keep updated, obviously.
Well, it's a funny thing because over the years I've realized that in order to be the type of reader that we are, you have to have time. And the people that have time are either retired or they have some type of illness that gives them time.
Yeah.
And so we just really want to recognize that a lot of the really top reader fans are people with chronic illnesses.
Yes, it's true.
And I bonded with many people that read in the same level I do, and it's because they're chronically ill, and we have time, so it's an up and down.
Okay, so let's skip on ahead. So we're here at the end of March.
Yep,
it's been all right. The weather's changed.
We've had a lot of rain.
We had a buttload of rain. Half of my land is frigging flooded, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So my house sits on an acre of land, and every year in April time, I have to try and hack it all back and try and get it to a level where it looks like a garden. This year, Ange has reached out to a company to see if they will come and just do the first cut of the season.
Wow.
Which will be amazing for me if that's what we can do. But it depends how much it's going to cost, you know? So that's exciting. I hope it works. Otherwise, I'm just going to be outside getting sunburnt, trying to hack the grass back.
I love the point in life that I'm at, that there are things in life that I don't want to do, so I find ways to not have to do them. Like, we have somebody that comes in and does our floors and vacuums and cleans the glass. That doesn't stop Catherine from vacuuming. She still does, even though she shouldn't. Like that, I don't even know how my wife walks, and she'll still vacuum to make sure the house is clean before the cleaner comes.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah.
You visiting is the only reason this house ever gets cleaned. Both me and Ange hate cleaning so much. It's only when we're like, oh shit, somebody's coming around, let's make an effort.
I know my son walked into my room and was like, your bed's made. I'm like, every day my bed's made. It's kind of a law around here. Like, if Catherine walks in and it's afternoon and our bed's not made, she pretty much just loses her mind.
Oh my god, we never make our bed. Yeah. Ever.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of just having a comforter or a duvet that I can just like straighten out and make it look nice.
We don't even do that. We're slobs. I'm not gonna. It's just how it is. We're just lazy. Neither of us want to clean, and it's only when it gets to a point where my head is gonna explode because everything is crazy around me and I can't focus. That I'll sit up in bed and Ange knows what's happening. I'm like, we're gonna need to clean today. She's like, right, okay, and we just end up having a day of cleaning, and then we leave it for God knows how long.
Well, see, I have OCD, but I don't have the super cleaning OCD. But that doesn't mean that I don't need my place clean and orderly, which is why Catherine and I get along so well, because she does all the cleaning and the orderly, and I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
But if she's not there, I still do it. Not to the extent that she does, because I'm not insane. Right,
so on the group, you asked a question, was it last week or the week before, about what?
It was a couple of weeks ago.
What was the question? Do you remember?
It was, what do you want to hear from us? Like, do you have any topics?
Did we get answers?
We did. Let's start with the one that I want to answer, and that is how to find an editor. So there are multiple levels of editing. The first thing I would say is ask your friends, because if you're a new author and you haven't reached out and made friends within the author community, you've done something wrong. Please don't be shy. Please don't hold yourself back. Don't put yourself down. There are so many other authors out there that are very much the same as you, that have a hard time reaching out, but they are not against having someone reach out to them. You might not get 100% response, But somewhere along the way, you'll find somebody that will bring you into the independent publishing fold. And especially in the Sapphic community, we're pretty tight-knit and opening. So first make friends that do the same thing that you do. Ask them who they trust, because regardless of the level, there is that level of trust.
Yes.
You have to build a relationship. If I am doing copy line editing, then I develop more of a relationship with authors so that I can see where they're coming from. I can put myself in their process. So I understand that about those authors. I know their tics. I know what type of repetitive words they're going to use. So building that relationship and that foundation is really, really important. It's not as important when you get to the proofreading level. That doesn't need as much of a relationship, but you still need to trust them, because you need to make sure that they can meet your deadlines. Look for people on recommendations. There are editing and proofreading associations, and there are some that are specific to fiction, because fiction is its own thing.
Yes, it
so is. Yeah, you do not want an editor for a journal or nonfiction. You just really want to find somebody that is within your genre, especially if you're in developmental or copy in line. They have to know the tropes. They have to know the basic outline of your genre. Yeah. Because if they don't, it'll take off your pacing and you're not going to get exactly what you want.
And I would say that just remember that when you do find an editor, no manuscript is 100% perfect.
No.
So when you get an editor, then have a proofreader ready to go in after that. Then maybe have your ARC readers look through it and let you know of anything, because mistakes slip through. It is absolutely...
Well, and an editor's full job is not to get every single mistake.
Yes, that's true.
And let's talk about AI, because that seems to be a huge deal right now. And I can tell you that I am not against using AI as a tool for cleaning manuscripts, if you know how to do that, if you have the right tools.
AI tools?
Yes.
And there's a difference. Tools have been around.
Grammarly is an AI tool.
For many, many years.
Yeah.
AI tools are in everything.
Yes.
They're in graphic design programs. They're in things like Grammarly, like your Pro Write Aid. AI tools are everywhere, and you will use them.
Yes.
Whether you know it or not, you will do. That is very different to having AI write a book.
Yes.
Very different.
Very different. And I'm not against using it to come up with ideas and prompts, but keep it out of your actual words in progress.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you might be thinking, why are you telling us to use AI? Doesn't that eliminate your job? Well, in some cases, maybe it does. And with some authors, maybe it does. But there's still going to be a need for a human to read that.
Let's be 100% honest.
Yeah.
If I just put my book through, say, Pro Write Aid or Grammarly, and left it at that, I've given a shit book. I'm producing a shit book, because an editor will take one look at that and go, and fix a hell of a lot of mistakes.
Yes.
Sorry, I interrupted
you.
No. To make that point, I suppose.
And it's really important to get an editor, because there's a term called word blind, and your brain, after seeing it so many times, will fill in spaces that you think are there, but they're not. Even when I'm proofreading, after it's been through beta and edit and everything, and the author's going over it several times, I will still find continuity errors. Also, on the science part, what you're looking for in a proofreader is somebody that can find 90 to 95% of the mistake. And if you have 100 mistakes in there, you're going to have 5 left. Yeah. You're always going to have something. There's no way around it.
So really, the takeaway from that is, if you're a new author and you're looking for an editor, first of all, reach out to people.
Yep.
I've certainly learned that I need to reach out more, and I've started doing that, and I've made some really good contacts, and I've made some new friends, and it's a lot of support. So I think that would be your first point of call. Yep. Reach out to other authors and ask them and get some advice from them. When you do get an editor, make sure they're the right editor for you.
Yep.
Of what your style, of what you want. And also remember that when you get your manuscript back, there's still going to be mistakes in it, And the idea is for you to have a conversation with your editor. You should always be able to have that dialogue with your editor and talk things through. I do. I think everybody I know, you should be able to have.
Well, and not only that, as an editor, as a proofreader, everything I do is a suggestion. I am not changing anything.
And that's really important.
Not a single thing.
That's really important to know, that your editor will send you things back through track changes, that sort of thing. You're not obligated to accept any of those changes at all.
That is your product. That is your
book. Yes.
And own it.
Absolutely.
Own every ounce of it. If somebody doesn't take my suggestions, if they don't like what I've done, I don't take that personally either. I've done my job, and, hopefully they love it.
Absolutely. Oh my God, we are now at 360 members.
How the hell did that happen?
360 ramblers.
Ramble on!
Yay.
Like, I have sworn for 3-4 months that I would start doing marketing and on TikTok and on Instagram. I did start an Instagram. My sister accidentally found it and followed it, so it is there. There's nothing there. But between the shit with Catherine and my shit and just life in general, I've done nothing.
But do you know what the really good thing is that all our new ramblers are starting to get involved. We're getting new posts that I really, really like. I put some questionable ones up, but they made me laugh when I saw them, so I put them up anyway, because I think that's the point of it. And it brings me to the next thing I want to talk about. So Kellen, our good friend Kellen McKnight. Hello, my darling.
Hello, Kellen.
Kellen posted a list of tropes, and it was a bit of a game to rate your favourite tropes. So she put hers up there, and there was like 10 altogether, and she listed out of 10 which one she liked. And then a bunch of other people did the same. And I thought, what a great thing for us to have a chat about. Because at some point on this podcast, we do talk about book things.
We have been really well today. We started out with
editing. That's something serious.
I know.
Oh my God. Right, so
I
tropes.
kind of felt bad about it for a moment. Frankly.
Tropes. Okay, so this is a list I'm gonna give you. So first one was enemies to lovers.
Okay.
Then we had second chance, fake dating, age gap, found family, grumpy versus sunshine, pregnancy, slow burn, love triangle, ice queen, friends to lovers.
Okay.
So I put mine. Did you rate yours?
I did not do it.
Okay, so we're gonna do this, and then you're gonna rate yours.
Okay.
I took everybody's answers, and I came up with the ones that are everybody's favourite.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna go from least favourite to favourite.
All right.
Okay, so everybody's least favourite was pregnancy.
Yes.
You said that quite quickly.
Yes. And in fact, when I saw that on the list, I went,
But when it says pregnancy, are we talking like, that's not just people with kids, is it? That's people
being pregnant
in the book.
Yeah. Now, and I get that because, with my background, it could have been very easy for me to, when I ended up pregnant, to not marry that guy and gone on with my life. And I was seeing somebody long distance at the time. And there was an option that, in some sort of fantasy land in my brain that we would be together and go through that. So, yeah, I get that. And
I wondered if it was more that, I suppose, unless you've been pregnant, it's not something that I couldn't relate to it at all.
Right.
I could read it, it wouldn't really mean anything to me because...
And I think it's probably on the list because there are so many more people that they're calling them later in life lesbians, which is a term I don't really like.
Yeah, because they've always been lesbians, they're just...
Right.
Is it just a case it's because they came out later? That doesn't make them later in life lesbians, though, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It just makes them lesbians.
Right. It doesn't even make them lesbians. I mean, they could be pan, they could be bi.
That's true.
All they've done is gotten themselves in a relationship with a woman. And that doesn't have anything to do with their sexuality.
That's very, very true.
So, I mean, because there's more people that are allowed and more open to being in a sapphic relationship, then there's something to relate with the pregnancy because those people have
had their kids and...
Yeah, or their friends have had kids.
Yeah, okay.
They've just been in a more heteronormative situation, so it just makes
Okay.
more sense.
Okay, so
But as a lesbian that didn't, want to be pregnant,
you don't want to read about it.
no. But I will read those books.
Yes,
Because I'll read anything.
I read anything, so I would read them. Right, number 9 is love triangle.
Yeah, because somebody gets cheated on, and that's a really big no-no.
Yeah, and also it's difficult if you fall in love with one character and that character's not the one that gets
Right.
to have the happy ever
Somebody's
ending.
gonna lose.
Somebody's gonna get hurt and upset. So
Right.
Yeah, okay, I understand that one.
Okay, so yesterday I read Violet Morley's, what is it, The Dating Game?
Yes, I've seen that
Okay.
advertised.
And that had a bit of a love triangle in it. And she did it really well.
Okay.
Because nobody really got hurt.
So-
there were some sad feelings, but there was a lot of understanding. So that was done well.
So then love triangle has got to be probably a trope that needs to be written really well to make sure it's not devastating
Right.
everybody.
And if it turns into a throuple, that's the best.
Okay. Right, number 8, slow burn.
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
That totally depends for me because I don't mind slow burn, but I want spice in it.
Yeah, if it's slow burn,
But you
with
get a really
spice,
good fucking spicy scene. 1 or 2 spicy scenes. Because obviously it's slow burn. Doesn't mean
except
you can't
that
have
slow
spice
burn
in it.
in the grander scheme of the way they talk about it is also what they call sweet romance.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I don't want sweet. I want it saucy. That's
Right.
what I want. Okay, right. Number 7 is Grumpy versus Sunshine. So that's obviously one character who is a grumpy asshole, maybe, and the other one is a Sunshine character. Now, I've read quite a few books by Lily Seabrook.
Yeah, I love her.
I love her writing, and a lot of her characters are this
Grumpy versus Sunshine. Yep.
I enjoy that trope.
Yeah.
But it has to be well done because if the grumpy person is less grumpy and tending to more of an asshole...
Yeah, you don't want pessimism.
No, I struggle to be like,
yeah,
you're actually just being a dickhead. So
yes.
Who would find that attractive? Kind of,
right.
You know what I mean?
Straight women.
Well, so if you like that trope, Lily Seabrook, she's a trans lesbian romance writer. I love her books.
I do too.
And
absolutely.
she does have a lot of her books have trans characters, and she writes them so beautifully and so well. So there. That's all. Number 6, fake dating.
That is a funny one, and you always know where it's gonna go. Always.
Of course you do.
Always. I mean, it's
do.
just like it's so apparent. But the thing about books is, my friend Kate is like, the way to do books is the same, different. So everything's really, you've got to know where it's going.
Yeah.
And then you have the little twist because the author writes it differently. And so, yeah, fake dating really falls into that category.
I often find fake dating is a lot more of the romance comedy.
Yes. They get themselves in weird positions.
Yeah, and I love romantic comedies. I want to be able to laugh. So I like fake dating. I think it's quite funny, but yes, absolutely 1000% know what's going to happen. But that's fine. Because let's be honest, sometimes you go into a book wanting to know what happens because you know
it's
that you're just going to have a...
It's that hug. Yeah. It's like a hug.
It's a hug. Okay, number 5. Friends to lovers.
Friends to lovers.
I like it. I think it's a popular trope.
It is. I think that emotionally I have a hard time when they struggle so hard in between the should I tell them. There's that.
It can go a bit too far.
Sometimes it drags out way too much. But other than that, yeah.
It's... Once again, it's just a nice, it's gonna happen. I think there is more angst in those books.
There's a bit more fear.
So number 4 is actually enemies to lovers. So people prefer enemy to lovers than they do friends to lovers.
Well, yeah,
because I hate sex. That's what everybody likes.
Hate sex and angry sex. Yeah, because that gets more rough and tumble.
There's that
that desperation of ripping off clothes, and it's a little bit dirtier than
I think so.
With friends to lovers, they're more careful with each other, and because we are dirty people. When enemies to lover, you just expect like the strap to come out.
It gets more physical, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So number 3 is second chance.
oh, I've had to go home and I've never wanted to go home again. And then there's my high school girlfriend. Oh my God, what do I do? Kellen's latest was Second Chance.
Absolutely, that was Second Chance. Yes, it was. And that was also Friends to Lovers as well.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing with books, they hit usually several.
Well, yeah.
So, well, if you are a fan of Second Chance, Kellen McKnight, Don't Circle or get on Amazon and read that, people. Okay, number 2, Found Family.
Okay.
Do you understand what Found Family? So this is when it's more about having your chosen family around you, because usually your blood family is shit.
Okay. I don't know. Evidently my brain's slow right this second because it's just not clicking. Like, yeah, there's found family, but like, who are you gonna fuck in that situation?
Well, I think it's not just all about fucking,
really,
Crystal.
Isn't it?
No, it's not. So the found family, that's more of a profound storyline, because there is a lot of emotion that goes into it. Yes, there's sex in there, Crystal. Good God. But I think that's more of the general storyline. Jeez. Okay, now, number 1, we've actually got joint number 1.
Okay.
And that is Age Gap and Ice Queen.
And if they're the same thing,
boom. So, I like both of them.
Yeah.
Ice Queen, it has to be really well written for me. Once again, it can't be to the point where I find the Ice Queen in the situation close to being abusive or just an absolute cunt.
Yeah, the Ice Queen basically has had a lot of trauma and has built a lot of walls. I mean, that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And somebody comes through and just bursts through the wall. And that's fun.
That's fun.
That's fun because it's always such a shock to them.
Yes. But it's not fun when the Ice Queen is a cunt.
Right.
Okay, so the other one, Age Gap. Now, Crystal, this on Facebook has been a bit of a bloody powder keg recently.
Really?
Yes, because somebody, I don't know who, made a post saying, like me, does anybody really hate Age Gap? The thought makes me feel ick. And that opened up then to it was almost like just fucking abuse about people in Age Gap's relationship. It really went, because it was Melissa Therese who saw it and she reposted it, and it all just went a bit frigging mental. And it was like, okay, Age Gap can be anything from 7, 10 to 20 years, whatever. It's a really broad thing. But I think what this person was saying, that is always a power imbalance, is always the older one is almost like taking advantage of the younger one.
Right. I mean, historically, maybe people get that idea. Is
that from heteronormative?
It is. It is very much heteronormative.
Older men seeking out younger women.
Yeah. And the most amazing thing that has really opened up in the sapphic community is that the majority of people are really like love is love.
Yeah.
Catherine is 10 years older than I am. And we never really felt that imbalance.
Yeah.
Because we were older. And she had 3 kids, 1 out of the house, 1 finishing high school, and 1 that was 9. And then I had an 11 and 13-year-old. So even though she was 10 years older, she had a child younger than me. And it didn't create any sort of power imbalance, or we liked the same things. We understood a lot of the same, like TV and music and that kind of stuff. So it was never that. I think that if somebody was 19 and somebody was 39, I can see a very different stages of life. But that doesn't mean that the 39-year-old is mature.
No, that's it.
Or has any concept in life.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that the 19-year-old hasn't gone through hell and is like twice as mature.
Absolutely.
So it really comes from a place of emotional balance.
Yeah.
If they can emotionally balance each other, I don't see a problem.
Nope.
No,
I never have either. Sometimes age just does not factor into it, whatever, at all.
No, and Catherine and I didn't really have an issue with it until the first time we visited France together. And her best friend ripped into her and said she's younger than you and you'll get old faster and she will leave you. And, I had dinner and gone to bed, and all of a sudden Catherine is, climbing into bed bawling.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I'm like, what is going on? And she explained that she would get older faster. And I'm like, that's a reality. And we will face that as we go. And then 3 years later, I got sick and almost died, and she took care of me for years.
Yeah.
So
life is unpredictable.
It's not, there's no guarantee that the older one is the one that will be sick.
No, and do you know what, actually, on Monday when I went for my x-ray, and I'm still going to take the piss out of my wife for it. So Angelique is 7 years older than me, 6.5, 7 years older than me. And we were sat waiting to get called in, and I got called in. And I don't know which one of us should be offended out of this. So she called me and turned and says, your son needs to wait in the waiting room. So either I look old enough to have a grown-ass son, or my wife looks like a teenage boy. We didn't know which one of us to.
Yeah.
So from now on, I'm like, come on, son, let's go out.
Right. My son and his wife have that problem, and you've met them, and you can see why.
Yes.
They have it. Yeah. They're only a couple years apart, but she looks very, very young.
Yes.
He's 28 and she's 26, and they look a good 15 years apart.
Yes, easy.
And it's not because he looks old.
No.
She just looks very
But
young.
it is quite funny to see the reaction of the person who's made that error.
Yeah.
Because the doctor who called me in, she was climbing up her own arse to try and apologise.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's like, it's fine. Angelique does not care.
Yeah.
She's misgendered all the time. She
I have
generally
my whole
does
life.
not care. I was up until I grew my hair out.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, I didn't help myself. I showed you my pictures.
I did. Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
I have a very glorious picture of my first day of 5th grade.
And she's a dapper lesbian, like 100%.
Yeah.
With the waistcoat and the slacks and everything.
Corduroy. They were tan corduroy. Yeah.
And I've said that we need to recreate that image because that is fabulous.
Yeah.
You should and you should have a pocket watch.
Right.
I feel like you should have a pocket watch coming out of your vest. Let's make you like an English lord.
Yeah. Yeah. I was one of those children that people walked by and went, oh, she's going to be gay. Like, I was told I was gay before I knew what gay was, before I had a concept that was something that I should be. So, yeah.
I was a tomboy, 100%.
Yeah.
I was climbing trees, scraping knees, all that sort of thing. Mother could not get me into dresses.
No.
No, not at all. And it was after I came out, it was about a decade after I come out, I was sat in the pub with my parents and my cousin, actually, my older cousin. And she turned around, she was talking to my parents, she said, I told you she was gay about 25 years ago. And my dad was like, yeah, you did, fair. And I was like, well, somebody could have told me. And all because the way I acted, but, you know.
Oh, yeah, they all told me. And I was like 15, and I was sitting in a restaurant, and it was my mom and her coworkers, and I got like an instant crush on the server. And she was just adorable. And for some reason, my mom decided to embarrass the fuck out of me and tell people that it was my birthday. So they did the whole bring me a cake and sing to me shit. And I was just looking at her, and I realized that my attraction to the server was gay. And I just went, oh, I'm so gay. And I was 15.
That's cool.
Yeah. I didn't blurt it out. That was the moment I accepted it in my brain.
Looking back now, I know there's a couple of people that I majorly crushed on.
Yeah.
Old women majorly crushed on. I can't say I ever had a gay panic at all about it. I didn't freak out. In my own head, I kind of did what you do, and I went, well... Yeah.
I didn't freak out.
I'm quite gay then. All right.
Yeah.
I think it was almost like once I accepted that about myself, it was like, well, all right, then there we go.
Yeah. And after that, I didn't fight with myself mentally. It just went, yeah, you're just gay. Everybody told you were.
Yeah, no, I didn't fight it mentally either. I think I would have really hated to have been the person who fought with myself in my own head and didn't want to be gay. You know, had that.
Right.
I would.
I didn't reach that later until like I was in a heteronormative trap.
Yeah.
Where it was like it would be so much easier if I wasn't. But no, and initially it was very simple for me.
Yeah.
Except the next step was, how do I get a girl to kiss me? And then that's where the panic comes in.
Gay panic came in.
Yeah. And luckily I never like went after anybody. Like I just got picked up. And
nice.
Yeah, it was. Of course, it was like a year later that the first person that really picked me up was the 32-year-old German woman. And then she took me to a gay movie. And then she kissed me. So, and then Then I gay panicked, and we didn't go any farther than that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then looking back, that's creepy as fuck, but that's still...
What happened?
Yeah. She was hot.
Well, you know.
Whatever. I don't care.
Okay, so we've just gone over tropes. We've just gone over a bit of gay panic. So that'd be interesting for you guys to comment about if you feel comfortable doing it. Tell us your gay panic.
Yeah.
That moment that you went, oh my God, I'm queer. Ah.
Right. And you know what? We don't care what age that is.
No.
And we don't care if that makes you a gold star lesbian or married to men 3 or 4 times. And we don't care any of that.
Nope. Not at all.
That's your journey and how you got there, and we're going to celebrate it.
Because it makes you.
Yep.
Doesn't it? Everybody's stories makes them who they are.
Absolutely.
They're good or bad.
I would give up the 15 years married to a man, but it would eliminate my children. And I just will not. I don't want to do that.
I mean, I don't like to work with regrets.
No, I don't do regrets.
As a general rule, because I don't see the point. But I'm human, so
right.
You have that feelings. If push came to shove, if I could, I would erase from 19 to 29. I would... Well, no, 17 to 29. I would bypass all of that bullshit.
I think everybody would bypass their 20s.
Well, yeah, I was an asshole in my 20s completely.
Yeah.
But I was also in a really shitty relationship as well. So I would literally bypass that decade.
Yeah.
Start from 29 because my 30s have been the best time of my life.
Nice.
So that's what I would do. But I can't do that. So whatever. I just get on with it, I suppose.
Yeah.
But saying that though, those formative years, I will say, they were formative. They taught me stuff.
Yeah.
And
I raised my children with the idea of your 20s are useless.
Yeah.
It's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to grow up.
Nope.
I have a nephew that's struggling to make it over the hump to be an adult. He doesn't want to.
It's because adulting is crap.
It really, really is. It's a
shit.
fight. And society makes you think that you're not doing it correctly. You're not enough.
I get quite excited when I do something adult, and to the point where I immaturely then say to Ange, look, I've done something adult-like. And she's like, well done, babe. I'm like, thanks.
I know, right? Yeah, no, I mean, if you're in your 20s, just know that it's going to suck, and it does get better. Each decade, you look back and go, oh.
Yeah, I've enjoyed my 30s. I spent my 30th birthday in Germany in a Rastafarian nightclub. Hi.
Neat.
So the person that we went to meet was, and her name is Jen, and she's a good friend of mine, and Cheeks, because she was there when we met.
Right.
So we were all on holiday together. So we kept in contact, and she's like, for your birthday, come over to Germany. I was like, all right then, 30th birthday. And she took us to one club, and basically it was like, we do not fit in this at all, so let's move on. So like, come with me. And she's like the most chilled out person I've ever met. And she just took us into, it was pretty much a shed. But we were the only white people in there, and everyone looked at us. She did not care. She just started rolling blunts, and I had the best 30th birthday.
That's
ever.
Awesome.
I don't know why, but that's how I started my third decade. So it was bound to be good.
Yeah, it still freaks me out that I'm like coming up on midway through my 5th. Like I will be 55 in August.
So I don't even know what originally we were talking about.
We were talking about tropes.
We were talking about tropes. Right, let's get back to that, because you basically were like, is there sex in this? If it's not, it's bullshit. So that gives me a good segue.
Okay.
I have read, TJ Dallas?
Yes.
I read her Pride trilogy.
Okay.
I didn't read the blurb. I just added it to my Kindle because
you would.
It's sapphic and I'm just going to read it.
That's how I do.
And I started it, and it's a girl who goes to a bar to get a job. So I was like, right, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden, she was having somebody telepathically speak to her. I was like, this is not going where I thought it was going to go. Okay, then. And it turns out the trilogy is about the 7 deadly sins.
I love that.
And the building where she goes has 7 levels, and each of them one is managed by one of the deadly sins.
I've read those.
I can honestly say they were fucking fantastic books. They were so original. And my God, the sex in it.
Yeah,
There are erotic novels.
Yeah.
Holy crap balls.
I read, what did I read the other day? Let me find it, because I wanted to tell you about it.
Well, while you're finding that, I'm going to carry on.
Yeah, you just carry on.
TJ Dallas, the Pride trilogy. Each of the books is split up into like sections. So, like the first section, it talks about the bartender. So this girl who goes to get a job, and then another section will be Pride. So that is the manager of the bar called Harry, and you see it from her point of view. And then the next section will be about wrath or lust, and these are all individual characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's such an original thought, such an original idea, and the stories are so well written. And yes, every chapter there is a sex scene. Every chapter.
Yeah.
And everybody must be knackered in those books because Jesus. But they are fantastic, and I love books, but it's quite rare that I remember a book so vividly after I didn't want it to end. I didn't want the 3 to end, and I've just found out that there's another 3 books after that called The Wrath. This goes on about wrath, so I'm going to go back and read those. But I'm categorically saying go out there and read T.J. Dallas, The Pride Chronicles, especially if you like.
I think that I've read The Wrath.
Spicy stuff, and this is spicy stuff. It has toys, it has everything.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. So there, I really wanted to talk about that because I read it and I was like, oh my God, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
And I love those books where it just absolutely slaps you in the face and goes,
right,
this is a great idea. It wasn't even just the writing, it was the idea behind it all and how she wove the story together of these 7 characters, well, 8 characters really. Just, yeah, very brilliant.
So the book I finished the other day is called Kiss of Seduction, a Steamy Sapphic Succubus Romance, Court of Chains, by Ronnie Sabor, and it's book 2 in a series, and the series will continue. But the succubus is lust.
Okay, yeah.
The sin lust.
Yes.
It's vampires and monsters and demons, and it is a darker book.
Okay.
So if you have triggers, you're gonna want to be careful with this book. If you can do the darker stuff, I meant to send you the title. Okay. And I will, but
I'll write it down and put it in. There's my book recommendation for this episode, or books
and mine. Look what we've done. There we go. We've accidentally recommended books.
Yay! Now. Yep. Moving on from that. Do you know what has been really popular in the Rambling Lesbians group?
What?
Beavers.
Yes.
We seem to have created something there. So, this is the thing I wanted to talk about that I didn't want to tell you about. I want us to have a mascot, a beaver mascot. And I want you ramblers to name that beaver mascot.
Are we talking a single name, or we're having like a 3-name, like first, middle, and last?
We can do that.
I think that we need a full name.
Full beaver name. And then when I've got that full beaver name, I'm going to ask a good friend of mine, Claire Stevenson. Hello, Claire.
Hi, Claire.
To do some graphics so that our beaver friend is on our cover art. Because I just feel like that's what this group is lacking now.
Yeah, we definitely need a mascot.
We need a beaver.
Yeah, yep. So, and we were lucky enough that somebody found my sister sent us the full reading of Brenda's Beaver.
Yeah, and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
Yeah.
So, challenge for you ramblers is to get on the group and give us a full name of our mascot beaver.
Yep.
The winner of that...
Are we giving away things?
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write in the mascot beaver into one of my books.
Okay.
And I will then name in the book as a character the winner who came up with that.
We need to come up with a contest so that I can give away a vibrator. We haven't talked about my vibrator very much.
So, right. Okay, no, I feel like we're about to go on a roll now. So, this is a beaver contest. Let me be clear, I do not want pictures of anybody's beaver.
Well, no.
Not in the group. Facebook, jail. We don't need it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If it's an animal, that's different.
Yes, it is.
And that does not mean you can say that your beaver is an animal and put it on. I think we need to have some guidelines. So, what we're going to do is...
The response to that is your beaver has teeth.
So, we're going to have... What we want from you is 3 names. First, middle, last name of our mascot beaver.
Yes.
The winner will have the name of the beaver and their own name written into one of my books.
Neat.
And I think that's where we'll bring your vibrator.
Yeah, I can give away a vibrator.
And you'll also win a C-Star vibrator, which will make your beaver very happy.
We're still waiting for, I haven't gotten contact with Sally about her review, but she has gotten her vibrator and she has positively responded with the effects. And
it will give you a happy beaver.
It does give you a happy beaver and a wet beaver.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know if you say it's so deadpan to my face. Like, this is such a regular conversation that we have, and it is. That's the thing.
Allison is bright red and can barely breathe right now.
She just makes me laugh. It's just so. This is quite a relatively new thing for me to be able to just have these kind of conversations. Ever since meeting Crystal, there are no boundaries, and I'm learning slowly to be able to just
flow with it,
and not have shame or not have be embarrassed about saying these sort of things.
Right, and she's had to overcome these things, or she gets whiplash in her neck, because there's been times where I've said something and her neck just spins in my direction, and she's just like, holy, what did you say?
But to be fair, Crystal, you just say things like it's like just everyday, regular, something that you would say, and the content of what you say is not regular. So it takes me a second to process.
So yeah, I will just say things like that.
She does. She just comes out with stuff, and it makes me laugh. But also, to be fair, I'm a redhead, so my natural thing is to just go bright red.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
Yeah, I don't have any boundaries. I will say anything because I also don't have regret. I don't have that guilt of saying it, so I can say them just like because there's just that's my normal life.
But
that
I love
one time,
that.
that one time when I went to Nice and we stopped above Cannes and I got diarrhea and I shit up the wall. I mean, that just happened.
I think it's just your openness to just like, I'm just going to tell you this and there we go.
Yeah, we busted out of that rest stop really fast though after that happened.
Fucking did.
Yeah, I like grabbed the kids and threw them in the car. I'm like, we're going! I don't know what just happened!
Oh my dear God. Okay, so name a beaver. That's what.
Oh yeah, name a beaver.
Name the beaver, and he's going to be, or she. It should be a she.
It's got to be a she.
She.
We're not having no he mascots.
he beaver.
Nope. No he beaver. Oh my God. What even is a he beaver?
Well, man beaver, I don't know.
Okay.
It's like worse than a man bun. It's a man beaver.
Oh, that would be like a moose knuckle.
What the fuck is a moose knuckle?
That would be like camel toe for men.
Oh, gross.
Right?
Ew.
Sorry,
camel toe in women's is not particularly attractive, to be honest.
It's not.
It is not. Oh, Jesus.
Depending on the situation.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. Is there a story behind that, or are you just...
No, we're not going to... No,
we'll
just
skip over that one, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Well, I think we've done pretty well in books concerned. We've actually spoken quite a lot about book-related things today.
We have. And we got in some rambles and turned you bright red.
Turned me bright red, yeah. Didn't take much, to be fair. So go out there and buy TJ Dallas, the Pride series. Go out there and buy Canon McKnight, Don't Circle Or. Go out there and buy Claire Hines Stevenson's Euphoria. And I'll add it on, Barbara Winks, if you like Mafia style.
That was really
books.
good too.
I love Mafia style books. Yeah. I really do. Go out there. Her second book is out in May, so go out there and get the first one.
Yep, that's not her first.
Promise to the Queen, book. I think it is, if I remember correctly. But no, Barbara Winks usually does crime. She's got a brilliant series, like 10 or 12 books.
Yeah,
excellent. Barbara Winks, go and find her as well. And feel free to go and buy my books too. That'd be lovely. Broken Parts included. And
then we're gonna record again soon, very soon. We are. And we're gonna have some guests on, and look forward to that.
Yeah. So the married couple.
Yes.
They write together, or is it under
They
one?
do write together under a pen name.
Okay, so a married couple that write under a pen name. That's for April's Rambling Lesbians episode. We'll get to that really soon, hopefully. It's been lovely to be back here.
Yeah, it really has.
And having a chat and having...
Even though I'm getting really warm in this room.
It is really warm, sorry.
No, it's fine. No worries.
Look, my cherry tree is blossoming. Can you see?
Shut up, it is.
It is, so I'm going to have a bunch of cherries soon, which is awesome. Anyway, Ramblers, thank you very much for sticking with us. Please tell your friends about it. Let's get that group up to 400, because that would be friggin'
I woke up to 13 requests the other day.
Awesome.
We're going to be at 400 by the end of next week.
We love you.
We're going to try and do some marketing too.
Yeah.
And we do love you.
We
have a really good group going. Thank you.
Feel
we
free to
appreciate
post. Feel free to ask questions.
Yep.
Feel free to share. And we will speak to you really, really soon. Ramble on.
Bye, Ramblers.